and welcome back to a new video. This video is going to be a little bit different, so I'm basically kind of tell you what the video is going to be first, in case it's not quite what you're expecting. So the video is called My Cinema Experience Jurassic Park World. Oh, Jurassic World. Why do I keep calling it Jurassic Park World? I do not know. Jurassic World. So yeah, this is basically going to be kind of like just a storytelling, discussion-y type video of a follow-up of two videos I made previous. And if you want to know my thoughts on Jurassic World, I will have uploaded my review for that, so this isn't kind of my thoughts on the movie or anything like that. So if this is kind of what you're looking for, I'll link that video down below so you can find what you're looking for. But yeah, basically, I made a video called Why I Don't Go to the Cinema, and lots of you, we got a bit of a discussion going. I was reading all your comments of whether you really like going to the cinema or whether you agree and things like that. So that was really fun, and it was nice to see everybody else's thoughts on it. And then I also made a video called, I think it was just called Movie Trailers, ? And I basically said that I also do not watch movie trailers. Now, however, in this particular situation with Jurassic World, I did two things that I never ever do. And that was, one, I went to the cinema for the first time in a year, and the first time since this 2015. And two, I watched the trailer for it. Because I was excited about it. I was excited for Jurassic World. So yeah, I did two things I don't usually do. So I'm kind of going to take as well kind of some things what you said on both of those videos, and then my thoughts on doing both those things and kind of having a fresh perspective on it and discussing my thoughts now. So basically first we'll go with the cinema thing, because obviously I went to the cinema before. Well, you get to the cinema and that's all before you've seen the movie. So one thing I didn't mention last time in my, I think maybe I briefly mentioned it, but not really much at all, was the price of going to the cinema. And then lots of you in the comments, said about how, the price has increased in going to the cinema, so it costs a lot more now to go to the cinema and stuff. And obviously, because I hadn't been in a while, I didn't really know how much it cost. So I can tell you though, I went to the cinema on a Sunday. It was a Sunday. It was a Sunday night. I think the prices are different depending on where you go, and I know there's Cineworld in the UK where you can actually buy a card. People talked about this as well in the comments of that. You can buy a card which is an unlimited monthly card, and you can pay a certain amount and go and see as many movies as you want per month. But I do not have a Cineworld near me. But they're making one actually, so that'd be cool. Maybe if they made a Cineworld, that'd be nice. But anyway, so basically I have an Odeon. Well, I say near me. It takes me about half an hour to get to cinema, an Odeon and a Vue, V-U-E. Those are the cinemas that I have near me, but then there also is Cineworld, which takes me longer to get to, but I've been to Cineworld before. Anyway, so basically the cinema I went to was Odeon, and they have different prices for different times, but I went in Sunday about 8 o'clock at night. And so the ticket to see Jurassic World in 2D, not in 3D, I didn't see it in 3D, the ticket to see it in 2D was £9, which is, I've looked it up on Google money change thing, but it changed it via exchange rate, so just kind of, it's around about €12, around about $14. So $14, €12 or £9, that's how much the cinema ticket was, which really is quite a lot considering when the DVD of Jurassic World comes out. The DVD, I can probably guarantee you, is going to be $9.99. And you can then watch that DVD, as many times as you want. So you are getting kind of, I guess, a less of a good deal going to the cinema. And it's quite a lot. Imagine if you went to the cinema 3 times a week and, it was £9 each time. And then obviously in 3D, I wonder how much it is in 3D. I'd be interested to know. I reckon it's about 12 or £13 in 3D. So I don't know what that is in dollars and euros, but anyway, so yeah, the cinema is quite expensive now. Usually, I remember when I was younger, but then again I was younger as well, so that was obviously an adult ticket. But yeah, when I was younger, I used to be able to go, and it'd be £5 or something to go to the cinema, and that wasn't too bad. And obviously, then you could buy some snacks and stuff. But yeah, now the cinema's definitely gotten expensive. Anyway, so that's kind of a lot of people had a lot to say about that, and it's different in different countries and stuff. So obviously, people are like, oh, if they're from America, they're like, oh, it's this much in dollars now, and it's gone up, and the cinema does just keep going up, I guess. But like I say, I hadn't been for ages, so I had no clue how much it was to go to the cinema. But now I do, because I went the one time. Anyway, so, there was the pricings, but because obviously I don't go to the cinema very often, it didn't really affect me, because, it's kind of like a special thing to go to the cinema. So I didn't really mind about that. So that was fine. You know, I bought my cinema ticket, and like I said, I bought it in 2D because I have seen 3D movies in the cinema before, and because I was always excited about it, I was like, oh yeah, 3D. But I never really, apart from IMAX, I don't live anywhere near an IMAX cinema, so I didn't go and see Jurassic World. I keep wanting to call it Jurassic Park World. I didn't go and see Jurassic World in the IMAX, which I think would be pretty good, but I didn't see it in IMAX. So if I was going to see a 3D movie in the cinema, I would go to an IMAX 3D one, I think, because otherwise I think it's not really worth the upgrade of the money. But I guess it just depends what you think of it. Like, because I have a 3D TV at home, if you know or don't know, and I like 3D at home. 3D in my house, I feel like I just personally prefer it than at the cinema. So anyway, I went to see it in 2D, and what was the point in me telling you that? I went to the cinema. What is the I have no idea. So I bought my cinema ticket, 2D Jurassic World, yeah. And then, you know, I say, what time was it? It was like 8 o'clock, 8:30, I think the movie was. So, you know, you kind of wait a bit. And then, oh, this is the point of why. Okay, so like I said, I didn't see it in 3D, and I saw it in 2D. So I get my ticket, and I go into the cinema place, where you go sit down and watch the film. And I remember I haven't been to cinema for a while, and the last time I did go to cinema, it was a bigger cinema. It's not a small cinema. This is like a, you know, a big Odeon. It's not a tiny one. But the last time I went to an Odeon a year ago was in the Trafford Centre, which is quite a big Odeon, so it's quite a lot bigger. But this was it was a big standard Odeon, and the screen was so small for a cinema. I kind of felt like, oh, it was probably, well, okay, I can't stretch my arms as far as it was. It was pretty big, but say I was sat like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know, I was sat kind of in the middle of the cinema, near the back, so I guess it didn't seem as big. But for me, I felt like the screen was smaller than I would expect it to be at the cinema, which was weird. And I also felt like the picture quality, I mean, obviously watching a lot of movies and Blu-rays and 3D Blu-rays and stuff, and always kind of thinking, oh, how's the picture quality on this? I sat in the cinema, and obviously so weird, and thought, the picture quality in the cinema isn't as fantastic as I would expect it to be. But yes, that was a bit weird. I was kind of a little bit, okay, because like, some of the shots were really beautiful, but I know they're going to look better when I buy the Blu-ray, or the 3D Blu-ray, whatever. So, you know, I was kind of like, okay. Also, I figured out why I don't really like the cinema. Before, I couldn't have told you this because I hadn't thought about it, but because I was at the cinema, I was like, right, I'm going to think about whether I like the cinema, what I think about the cinema, and I'll tell you what it is. When I'm at the cinema, I feel like I'm on an airplane. That's the problem. I feel like I'm on an airplane. I don't like really being on an airplane, but I mean, I'll go on an airplane, but I'm like, oh god, you know, I'm on an airplane. And I'm not scared of flying, it's just that uncomfortable situation, you know what I mean? When you're like, so your seat's like this, your legs are like, I mean, I'm not very tall, my legs aren't long, my legs are like this much space between the next person in front, and then you've got people at the side, and there's obviously a bunch of people you don't know, and then you've got the armrests, and you kind of sat like this in the on the plane and in the cinema. So maybe my cinema just doesn't have comfy chairs. But yeah, so the cinema, it's uncomfortable. I was like, can't get comfy in this cinema. And so yeah, I was just kind of like, oh well, I was really glad I went to see Jurassic World. And this isn't a complaint video, this is just the thoughts on cinema. Yeah, so I thought it kind of felt like I was sat on an airplane. Because it just wasn't comfy, and you know, you're at the cinema for 2 hours, how long is it, I don't know, like 2 hours, and you're in this like weird position, like, no, it's like a sitting upright position, but it's just, I don't know, or like being on the bus, that's what it reminds me of, because, I don't know, it just does. So yeah, if anybody else has ever felt like that, let me know if you find the cinema comfortable, or if you find the cinema uncomfortable. Because obviously if you're at home, you can maybe sit on your sofa, and obviously you've got some cushions, and all your stuff that you kind of sit, or maybe you've got like a nice armchair, or maybe you sit on your bed, or I don't know, but you know, it's different, you get that kind of different experience. And so yeah, the cinema, I'm not sure, I didn't leave the cinema thinking, wow, I love the cinema, but I got to see Jurassic World a lot quicker than I would have otherwise. So, you know, that's the only plus, that's the only tick I can see for the cinema, is that I got to see it quicker than I would have otherwise. That's my only kind of plus thing. But yes, if you have any more to say on the cinema thing, let me down below, because like I say, I have done a video on it already, but I hadn't been to the cinema for ages, so I didn't really know. Secondly, moving on to the trailer kind of section of this video. This feels more like a rant video, but it's not. Like, I don't mind that the cinema isn't comfortable, or that what were my other issues with it? Or that it didn't seem as, it didn't blow me away. Like, Jurassic World in the cinema should be an awesome movie to see in the cinema. But like I said, I didn't see it in IMAX, and maybe somebody will say, well, you should have seen it in this cinema at this, da-da-da. But still, if you go to the cinema, you should get a blow-away cinema experience with a big movie like that. And so maybe I was expecting too much. That's probably the problem. But yeah, I don't mind. I'm just happy I saw the movie, but I still feel like it's, you know, a fun little thing to discuss and important to have our discussions about cinema. Anyway, trailers. I'm so sad that I watched the trailer for Jurassic World before I saw the movie. I was so excited. I was like, yay, Jurassic World, trailer. I watched the trailer, and the trailer gives so much away. If you've seen the trailer, if you haven't seen the trailer but you've seen the movie, seriously, go and watch the trailer. You'll be like, oh, yeah, it really does. If you haven't seen Jurassic World or the trailer, don't watch the trailer, just go and see the movie. That's what I would recommend. But yeah, so one of my favourite bits in the movie was in the trailer, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, I've seen this. And then, I don't know, I wasn't very surprised. I kind of talked a bit more about that in my review. I really enjoyed the movie, but I'd seen a lot of the big dinosaurs in the trailer, so they kind of shot themselves in the foot a bit there. But obviously it doesn't affect a lot of people. A lot of people who are used to watching a lot of trailers will kind of be used to that, but for me, I don't really watch many trailers, and that one I just particularly watched. Like, I have not seen the trailer for the new Avengers movie, and I have not seen the Avengers movie yet because I didn't go and see it in the cinema, but when I get it, when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'll be so excited because I don't know anything, so I'm very excited. And I kind of wish I would have done that with Jurassic World, but I didn't, but that's okay. I just kind of was like, oh yeah, okay, kind of seen these bits, but yeah, if you want to know my actual thoughts on the movie, like I say, I can link that down below. But as for the watching trailers and watching in the cinema, I still kind of agree with myself before, and I think a lot of you are kind of on the same level with me with that, especially with trailers. A lot of people are saying, yeah, trailers do give too much away nowadays, and the cinema, a lot of people, I think the most big problem people have, and I guess if you go to the cinema regularly, I agree, like it's a bit of a, the cinema's expensive. It's definitely gone up in price, but because I don't go too often, it's not really, you know, if I do go, it's like, oh, a special treat, I guess, kind of thing. So, yeah, but if you wanted to go and see all the movies you want to see, say there's a bunch of movies coming out in summer, it's going to cost you a lot of money and you only get to see it one time. So yeah, the cinema is really pricey now, and it's definitely gone up since last time I went. I was like, wow, yeah, it is, especially as well, you want to see it in 3D, you're going to be, it's getting expensive. But yeah, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the cinema, and in terms of like how you feel comfortably in the cinema. I'd like to know this time, because that's not something I talked about last time. And again, like I said, I didn't really talk about the price, but you guys kind of mentioned that quite a bit, so I thought, yeah, that's an interesting thing to kind of note when I go, because like I said, I hadn't been, so I didn't really know. But yeah, comfortably, how do you find it in the cinema? And 2, trailers. Back on this trailer thing. Anyway, let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Hopefully this video was just a bit of a fun little discussion about my experience with it. It wasn't a bad experience, it's just an interesting thing to talk about. Until then guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!